I think I've got it going. Okay. This is a very overdue video. It's gonna actually combine a couple of different things. My mom was here, so I didn't really have as much time to tape and stuff, but even that, I don't know. Okay, so I think the last I did was the last rehearsal. I think I'll stay in chronological order. Okay, so Saturday I went to the Bible study. Oh, okay. You know, growing up Jewish, we argued with our rabbis. It was done in a respectful way. I mean, yeah, you sit in tutelage of them and you totally like absorb everything and you do things very respectfully, but you argue with them, not in an angry way, not in a disrespectful way, but you challenge what they say by means of what they've taught you, you know, so that if it's contradictory, that's actually you being a good student, because sometimes they'll even present you, they'll set a trap for you, you know, like they'll tell you one that is contradictory and they want to see you work your way out of it and challenge them. So, okay. So this is part of the precedent that I grew up with, and sometimes it's really difficult for me because I know that that's not the precedent anywhere else except for that. And especially when it comes to, you know, scriptural matters, I have a lot of problems. So this was the first time I kind of actually argued with him. Okay. But not as bad as I normally would have, and not that I think I gave him a break, so I should get an attagirl, but I kept myself brief, and that was kind of good, but I still left furious. So, part of it was on the Lord's Prayer, and I've had a problem kind of with that for a while, to some certain sort of a degree. And you know, when he first said that we were going to be going over it, he said, "Okay, I'm going to do it line by line." And I thought, "Oh, great, my favorite!" You know, adjust your trays to the upright position. You know, we're ready for takeoff, right? This is not the case. Okay, so we're going through it line by line. And we had talked about some other concepts previously as far as like God's forgiveness, God's mercy, that kind of thing, and humans' ability to forgive, okay? So then when we get to the part where it says, please forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespassed against us. Okay, I said, well, if we're so poor at forgiving, why are we not asking for us to learn to forgive as Father does? Because first of all, he's going to forgive us before we even ask. You know, and then when we do ask, then definitely, you know, it's obvious that that's taken place. We're just figuring it out. And that, you know, it seems almost like, well, he won't forgive us until we've forgiven others. Well, that, yeah. So he didn't give me really any answer. I mean, it was, what he started to talk about instead was rather how forgiveness isn't a feeling, but rather instead a process. Okay. Now the other one is not my fight. It sort of is my fight, but it's more my husband's fight. So I'm sorry that I borrowed trouble from yesterday, but it was, yeah. So the architect who made our church was there, and the priest was talking about him. And he's talking about the iconostasis and how the one that we have now is borrowed and it's actually kind of movable, and that they're discussing what they're going to do with it, making the new one, and like carving and all kinds of stuff. Which reminds me that I really want to talk about the Loretto Chapel. Okay. So, if you've been to Loretto, like, put a little message, because, yeah, it's cool. He was describing some of the things that go on it, and at one point he said something in regards to deacons having some prominence there. And now I don't know what a deacon is, so, you know, I'm thinking that it's just like one of the helper people that goes up there when they're doing all that stuff outside. So the thing that all I could remember was my husband's trip to Italy, and he said that he went to some town, I don't know where it was, and that, you know, like each different town has their own patron saint. Okay, so there was one painting that was like, I don't know if it was a fresco or if it was like, I don't know, like some sort of painting on a wall that was like in a public square area, that basically was like a picture of Jesus but pointing to the patron saint and kind of, you know, like saying, this is the one to pay attention to. That was at least how he felt about it when he looked at it. Who knows what it really meant, okay? And that if that were the case, if that wouldn't have made any sense, it would actually have been the reverse, you know, the saint saying, here's the one to look at, right? So it kind of, I mean, I'm fine, and it makes sense to me to, you know, have Jesus up there and to have Theotokos. That makes total, complete, honorable sense to me. But a human deacon, that I don't understand. And so I bristled at it because I was like, oh gosh. So I know that my priest kind of invited, you know, anybody who has anything else they want to talk about. And I got up there like a shot, and I always do. I always just race out of there as fast as I can, because I really should not be there. I really shouldn't. I mean, I almost took up and left in the middle of that the second he said deacon. I mean, I'm really glad that this is not my only experience with any kind of orthodoxy, because I would just be and I would never get back. And you know what's really strange is that when I am singing the liturgy, I don't have any question at all. Everything is completely clear, and I'm like right in alignment with it. It all makes sense. Put me in that class, I'm grrr, you know. So whatever that means, I don't know. Okay. Saturday was also, and this might be a little hint as to why I was sort of, you know, sensitive. The 1 year anniversary, right? Should I show him or not? To a teacher of mine. She's one of my most beloved and important teachers. My Russian teacher, the one I always talk about, Zhenya Kershel. So it's been 1 year since her passing. And that was really hard to take. But I'm going to bookend that with someone's birthday. So, you know, you got to take good days and bad, right? So on Sunday when I went in, which it was Pentecost, I lit 5 candles, 1 for Zhenya on the outside, and then 4 for the 4 that I always put in on the inside. And everything was green. I loved out on the outside. There was this huge, it was really thick, like this thick, yeah, of a wreath. And I sort of had to do a little dance to not make it fall. And then when I went in, yeah, it was all very green. People were dressed in green. There was green everywhere. There was greenery everywhere. And there were certain hymns that we sang again and again and again, and I was so happy about that. And then we sang again 2 more that we did from the last time. And, you know, the one that I was saying was sounding like, you know, the thing from The Wizard of Oz. We sang that one again, which I really do love that one very, very, very much. His mercy endureth forever and ever, that one. Then on the facing page to that, it's part of a quote from John, which says, "A new commandment I give to you." And I sing that probably constantly. Those 2 pages facing each other, I sing those constantly. I cannot stop myself. So, those are great. Then we got to kneel or prostrate in 3 times. Now, this I got confused about, so I'll probably ask my priest on Saturday, but it was explained to me that when you prostrate, you never do it on Sunday because that was the day he rose. But I recognize, God bless you, that you're welcome. We were doing it as reference to Pentecost. So I got to get that clear as to, you know, stickler for details and consistency that I am. Speaking of which, I looked during Eucharist and I specifically noticed that I didn't see light. And then I was doing some research because I'm using a certain Chinese medicine called magnolia bark. And one of the things that it does is it's really great for chronic pain, and it's good for a bunch of things. One of the reasons that it does that is because it helps with cortisol, and that's why it reduces the pain. But it increases your serotonin. I found out that one of the signs of low serotonin is like religious visions and seeing things. So maybe that's why I see all that stuff. Maybe it was because of my pain level or something. So in a way, I was actually glad. And I haven't seen Theotokos in my head in a while, and maybe that's why too. So now that makes you wonder, like, all the people who had visions. Just 2 big ones that pop into mind, you know. Muhammad and Joseph Smith. Maybe they were just low serotonin people who really could use some medication. All right. Don't mean to be disparaging. So then at the end of that, it was beautiful. It was perfect. Yes, mercy and grace were there straight away. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. People who don't believe about that phenomenon with the whole tongue stuff. I met a woman who was Thai, and we became very close over a period of 6 months. I knew probably 3 Thai words, 1 being a greeting and 2 that were food, okay? When my husband would come around to see us, he said he could not detect if we were speaking English or Thai because we were in our own, like, personal communication bubble. I don't know how to explain it better than that. And he actually asked me, was she teaching you Thai? Were you practicing Thai? I could not understand anything that you were saying to her. I said, no, babe, I was speaking English. He says it did not sound like English. So whenever people say they don't believe that that actually happened, I just remember my Thai friend, and I'm sure that communication there was made away. All right, so that's the end of today, except my girlfriend had a birthday today. I called her up, a Chicago girlfriend, and I had sang happy birthday on her answering machine. She called me back and made me sing it to her again, live. I have no idea why. So, there you go. Yeah, she's from Wrigley Field. Back when they actually had signs, no lights, and if you couldn't get the official one, you made your own. Anyways, whatever, if you don't know about, okay, yeah, I'll talk about that sometime, maybe later. You just never know. Okay, lights in Wrigley Field. Okay, I gotta go. I've kept you way too long. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm sorry that I've been away because of my mom. And I look forward to catching up with everyone's videos. Thank you for watching, and I send love to you. Great blessings of peace.